Today, we're talking about the Tennessee Volunteers. Danny White announces the contract extensions of 9 coaches. You want to talk about it? Okay, let's get it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into it, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's go. All right, Rick Barnes, contract extension through the 25-26 season. Tony Vitello, his contract season runs through the 26th season. All right, Kelly Harper, her extension runs through the 2025-26 campaign. Lisa Glenn, who's that? The rowing coach. Guess what? Contract extension runs through June of 2024. Who was that? Matt Kritish, swimming and diving coach, contract extended through the 2025-2026 season. Women's tennis coach, Allison Ojeda, contract runs through June of 2026. Men's tennis, Chris Woodruff, contract runs through June of 2026. Men's golf, Brennan Webb, extension runs through June of 2026. Who was that? Softball coach Karen Weekly, contract extension through 2025. You guys know her husband just recently retired. That is Ralph Weekly. They did big things. They went to 7 NCAA College World Series and hosted NCAA regionals actually for 16 consecutive seasons. Man, that's a big deal, man. Thank you for joining me on Sports Talk, man. Let me go ahead and send you my info right here, man. Let me go ahead and just run it down right there. You know my guy. That's me, William Allen. I'm your host, Sports Talk Unplugged. Today I'm talking about the Tennessee Volunteers, man. I'm diving into it and talking about the Tennessee Vols, man. And that's what we're going to do. I don't know if you guys are hyped about these Tennessee Vols, but let me tell you one thing. I want you guys to get hyped even more. So let's just do this, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run through here and talk about the Tennessee Vols, Lady Vols basketball coach Kelly Harper, introduced as the Lady Vols head coach in April 2019. Overall record of Tennessee is 38-18. Reached the second round in 2021 NCAA Division Basketball Tournament. Renard Davis, big player, big contributor in that. Drafted in the first round, number 9 overall selection by the Minnesota Lynx. Man, I'm really thinking that Renard Davis is going to be able to recruit well because we want to see national championships for the Tennessee Vols, especially with the Lady Vols. Let's move on talking about Tony Vitello, especially that last season, man. 42 years old, this guy's young. Record of Tennessee is 134-68. Last season going 50-18. Berth in the College World Series. Why? Because they beat LSU. And then they went on to Omaha. There's a lot of rumors about Tony Vitello going to LSU. But guess what? They hired Arizona baseball head coach Jay Johnson. All right. So it is what it is, man. But Tennessee, man, has several walk-off home run wins, but especially special to most fans and to me as well. We're talking about Drew Gilbert with that 9-8 win versus Wright State. That big play that he had, man, it was unbelievable. Tennessee hosted, man, that regional round there. Not enough you could say about what they did to reach Omaha just to get there. Everybody remembers the Peyton Manning, the mural up talking about Omaha and everything that surrounds that. But I feel like the excitement around the program with the Tennessee baseball team, is definitely something that fans should get excited about. I think they need to do more with that stadium. That's a real comment. You need to do more with that stadium. I will say that I know that the atmosphere was electric around that stadium, around everything that happened there. And I feel like they need to do more, man. Absolutely, man. Tony Vitello, Brady House selected by the Washington Nationals. Number 11, big guy, 6'4", 215. And I got to say, man, he was probably the man on the team. Athletic. A lot of guys got drafted, and that's why a lot of guys want to come to Tennessee and play for Tony Vitello, because he's a great coach. He knows how to mentor his players. You can see that his players want to run through a brick wall for him. They want to do everything that Tony Vitello wants to do, man. All right, real talk, man. I don't want to dwell on too long, because I know that Tennessee baseball was great this season, man, and they need to add like 10,000. They need to add like 50,000 seats to that stadium. No, I'm just kidding. Not 50,000, man, but they got to add some seats to that stadium, man, because that program is definitely coming along, especially with this contract extension, all right? Let's keep it moving, man. Let's talk about Rick Barnes right here, all right? Vols basketball coach Rick Barnes, all right? Been the coach since 2015. Named the Naismith College Coach of the Year in 2018-2019 season, going 31-6, tying a school record. You guys remember that team because there's some great players on that team. You got Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, Jordan Bone, and Kyle Alexander. But let's go ahead and get into the recruiting talks right now, because Coach Barnes is putting together a great class for the 2021 season. Real talk, all right? So who headlines that class is Kennedy Chandler, all right? Right now, he leads Team USA to gold medal in the FIBA 419 World Cup. 5-star point guard, man. This guy's good. Everybody knows who Kennedy Chandler is. That's where everybody right now is focused on Tennessee. 5-star, 6'10", 235-pound power forward Brandon Huntley Hatfield. He'll be on deck. Jonas Adu, 4-star center, 6'11", 230 pounds. All right. Quentin DeBonchene, hopefully I said your name right. 6'5" shooting guard from France. All right. 4-star wing, 6'4", 192 pounds. Jamae Meshach. This guy's from Rancho Cucamonga, California. All right. This guy's good. I saw his tapes. I saw his videos. I saw what this guy can do. I feel like he's an elite defender. He can be an elite scorer for the Tennessee Vols as well, all right? From Auburn, transfer, Justin Powell, 6'6", 185 pounds. I feel like this guy's going to be really good. He's going to be a freshman coming in. And still returning, you got Josiah Jordan James, John Fulkerson, Victor Bailey, Olivier Kumwa, Santiago Vescovi, and Euros Plavsic still coming in hot already on the team. So these guys are going to be good, man. You got to watch for these guys, man. What Rick Barnes is going to do. His style, his coaching style it can be harsh at times. You got to take it. From what I've heard from like Grant Williams, you know what I'm saying? You got to take his coaching style, man. You got to understand that this guy is trying to mold you into a player that will dominate, period. That's what he wants. That's what Coach Barnes wants, man. He just wants you to understand that on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively, that you got to play hard, period. That's all it is, man. That's all he wants you to do, and he's going to tell you about it in practice, so you got to be ready for it, all right? Real talk, man. All right, so we're going to move on to this guy right here, man. Going to talk a little bit about football real quick, man, because we got to. First thing I got to say is RIP to Ladero McNeil, 27 years old. Passed away last Thursday, man. Can't believe it. But let me just start off by saying that. Secondly, let me start off by saying that I'm impressed by what Josh Heupel is doing, creating a family atmosphere for the Tennessee Vols football program. Of course, we all know there's going to be a quarterback competition. Harrison Bailey, Brian Maurer, Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton. It's going to be something. It's funny because Phil Steele predicts that Joe Milton will start. It's almost like I want to turn around, look at Phil Steele, and say, "What are you talking about?" Because you don't even know. Like, how can you predict? You know, he could just predict whatever he wants to. Great dude, great magazine, but bruh, you don't know. But I gotta say, the recruiting trails is really good right now. I like what they're bringing in. Recruits, you know, you got Cam Miller, he just committed out of Memphis. Macarius White, wide receivers out of Penn, Alabama. That's gonna be great, man. But to me, it's all about the trenches for the Tennessee Volunteers, man. You can't have a successful football team, man, without being successful in the trenches. He understands that on the offensive side of the ball, and he understands that on the defensive side of the ball, all right? That's where you look at Gardner, hoping he can develop players like Arbie Solomon, Matthew Butler, Amari Thomas. You got Elijah Simmons, DeJoun Terry. You got some guys, man. Latrell Bumpus. You got Caleb Trimley coming in, Juwan Bakley. They got some guys, man. Tyler Barron, William Mohan, Bryce Young. It's all about really developing that defensive side of the ball if you really want to win. Because I feel like offensively they have the tools. They got quarterbacks that want to play. They want to sling the ball around. They also want to run the ball, and that's good. Jabari Small. You got some other guys that will show up. But defensively, you got Jawan Mitchell coming in, Jeremy Banks coming back, Solomon Page, Lance Whitehead. You got some guys, Aaron Willis, But the question is, man, is can you hold teams? You want that defense to bend, but you don't want them to break. You got Roman Harrison back there, Morgan Joseph, Byron Young, Tamarian McDonald. You got some guys. Let's just act like that the Vols are an actual contender, man, because we don't want to sit here and act like Lane Kiffin is going to come in here and Ole Miss, and because he's been under his coaching contract for 1 year, that he's just going to be able to run over Tennessee when he comes in Neyland Stadium, man. We don't want that to happen. He's going to come in Neyland Stadium, and the Vols need to make sure that they put him in his place. Because actually, Josh Heupel has never lost to Lane Kiffin, if you look up the stats. Real talk, man. You know what I mean? You got Theo Jackson back there, Kamal Haddon, Danico Slaughter. You got some guys. Warren Burrell, you know, he caught that interception in the spring and white game. You got some guys. Alante Taylor Talks. What is that? Tay Talks? I like that show, man. I like what you're doing, man. NIL. Name, image, and likeness. I like all that they're doing, man. Real talk, man. All right. Taylor McCullers. Cheyenne LeBronza, man. You got guys. Trayvon Flowers, Charles Fields, man. You got guys, man. Let's not act like this team does not have talent. I know there's a lot of guys that transferred out. I understand that, man. I get that. But I tell you what, man. These guys, I feel like, are excited about the season. These guys want to show up. And I feel like they're ready to go. You know what I mean? So who you going to bet on? I'm going to bet on them Vols. So if I bet on them Vols, I'm coming right here to Vegas. Planet Hollywood, my first night. And we're going to talk about these Vols, man. Love the Tennessee Vols, man. Thank you guys for joining me on Sports Talk Unplugged. It's always a pleasure to talk about these Tennessee Vols, man. I really like the direction of the football program. I like overall what Danny White is doing. I like his extensions of all the coaches. It's almost like the whole Vols environment is in a feel-good state right now, and I like that. I like what they're doing up there, man. I like what's going on. I'm happy about it, all right? You should be too if you're a Vols fan. If you're not, don't worry about it because we're not worried about you. We're not worried about Georgia, and we're not worried about Alabama. We're not worried about Missouri. We're not worried about South Carolina. We're not worried about Vanderbilt. We're not worried about Kentucky. Kentucky, we're not worried about you. I got a feeling we're going to come through Kentucky and do something special. All right? Sports Talk Unplugged. Let's get it.